Korea recorded the second highest economic growth rate among OECD members in the first quarter, driven by a booming semiconductor sector.
올해 1분기 국내 경제 성장률이 반도체 산업 호황에 힘입어 경제협력개발기구 회원국 중 2위를 기록한 것으로 집계됐습니다.
Yes. So Korea's economy did much better than other developed economies. Specifically, Korea's real GDP grew by 1.7% in Q1, trailing just Denmark and just above Estonia and Finland. The OECD average was 0.4%, so Korea was much higher than the average of all these nations. And it's a big rebound compared to the previous quarter, where in Q4, Korea's economy actually contracted 0.2%. And much of this is due to, of course, a boom in the semiconductor sector here.
A boom in the semiconductor sector. That means we saw exports rise quite a lot. But the semiconductor sector has always been actually a big driver when it comes to boosting exports.
Yeah, in a way, it's carrying the economy right now. A lot of the success in the local stock market, a lot of people say, has to do with mainly two companies that are really carrying the load for the entire economy at this point.
Exactly. 그래서 우리나라의 실질 GDP 성장률이 되겠죠. Real Gross Domestic Product. 그게 1.7%를 기록했습니다. 근데 지난 4분기 같은 경우에는 마이너스 0.2%였던 것에 비하면 상당히 좋은 성적일 뿐만 아니라 다른 OECD 회원국들보다도 이번에 굉장히 좋은 성적이었습니다. All right, let's have a look at economic growth rate.
Yeah, economic growth rate simply means how the rate or the speed at how fast an economy is either expanding or shrinking, and it's usually used in a percentage amount. Right?
rate가 있으면은 비율 생각하시면 되죠. 물론 rate가 이제 요금의 뜻도 있을 수 있지만 여기서는 비율인데 economic growth rate니까 경제 성장률이 되겠습니다.
Right, and we usually substitute it for basically what they're talking about, GDP. Right?
Yes, in this case. 그래요. And booming?
Yeah, if something's booming, it's that means something is increasing or very quickly. It's thriving in this case, you could say, right?
Thriving is another term that means not just doing well, but doing really well.
Yeah. But you can also have a booming voice too, right? Which is a little bit different, where if you have a very deep and loud voice like this that carries through a room.
With a bit of an echo as well.
Booming, 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 booming. Yes.
네, 그런 것도 이제 booming이 될 수 있습니다. 소리. 그래서 boom mic? Is that an expression?
A boom mic is one of those mics that you can see that people carry overhead, or a boom box is like an amplifier that carries the bass.
So right? I guess it extracts the sound and makes it sound a little bit bigger.
I think so.
Or louder.
Yep.
근데 여기서 말하는 booming이라는 것은 호황을 누리는 이라는 뜻이 되겠죠. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Korea recorded the second highest economic growth rate among OECD members in the first quarter, driven by a booming semiconductor sector. Let's move on to headline number 2.
The Korean won weakened sharply against the dollar in the second quarter, according to the central bank, pushing the average exchange rate to its highest level since the 1998 Asian financial crisis.
한국은행에 따르면 2분기 원화 가치가 달러 대비 급격한 약세를 보이면서 평균 환율이 1998년 외환위기 이후 최고 수준으로 치솟았습니다.
Yeah. This has been in the news a lot lately, right? The weakening of the Korean won. But if you look at the average between April and June 5th, to be exact, right around the time, I think, of the Iran war starting, the average Korean won to dollar rate was 1,490.98 won, and it's the highest level since the first quarter of back in 1998, when it reached 1,596 won, nearly 1,600 won at the time. And year to date, the average is about 1,477. So it's much higher than last year's average at about 1,420. And it seems like this is a cause for concern. The main reason being a lot of foreign selling of South Korean equities. A lot of foreigners are taking out their money from the local exchange, local stock market. But also there's been profit taking after a sharp rally in the Kospi that's been booming recently. And also higher U.S. interest rates are expected over in the U.S. because of inflation concerns. So these are all the reasons.
Over the weekend, the Korean won actually was valued at around, the US dollar became valued at around 1,561 won,
Yeah.
which is, as you said, very expensive. Also, that means the Korean won is valued at a very low price
Exactly.
compared to before.
Right. And there's a big concern when the markets open in less than an hour at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
here in Korea, because there was a big sell-off back in the U.S. last Friday that some are worrying about this Black Monday possibly coming today. So just keep an eye
see.
out on that. Yeah.
그래요. 뭐 여러 가지 이유가 있겠지만 일단 우리나라 그 원달러 환율이 1,561원을 돌파했다는 거 이게 그러니까 2009년 당시에 글로벌 파이낸셜 크라이시스 때 이후로 가장 높은 수준이기도 하고 2분기 평균으로 놓고 봤을 때는요. 이제 28년 만에 최고치입니다. 지금 이게 이제 기준이 되는 것은 지난 토요일 6일 날 그런 이제 환율이 되겠는데 외국인의 한국 주식 대규모 매도도 하나의 이유가 될 것이고 그다음에 이제 중동 전쟁, 미국의 강한 고용 지표, 금리 인상 기대 이런 이유들이 있겠죠. Alright, when we talk about the Korean won's value against the US dollar, we always use that expression, against the dollar, against the greenback.
Yeah, because we're comparing it to the US dollar, right? Especially whether it's rising or falling in value relative to it, because it's a not subjective, it's relative to when you compare it to a different currency.
Yeah.
And it's commonly used in financial or news reporting style, right?
그렇죠. 이제 우리가 쉽게는 원달러 환율이라고 하지만 이게 사실 의미상 달러에 비한 원의 가치, 뭐 원의 환율 이런 거잖아요. 영어로는 그렇게 풀어서 말하는 겁니다. Against the dollar라는 것은 달러에 비해서라는 뜻이죠.
Right. Or you can just simply say the $1 exchange rate.
You can say that.
Right.
그렇게 말해도 됩니다. $1 exchange rate. And what about pushing it to its highest level?
Yeah, if you push something, that means you're causing something to reach its maximum or peak level. In this case, we're talking about currencies, right? But
Yeah.
any prices, any sort of numbers, you can use this.
그렇죠. 밀다 to its highest level, 가장 높은 곳까지, 그래서 최고치까지 밀어 올리는 것을 얘기하고 있습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼까요? The Korean won weakened sharply against the dollar in the second quarter, according to the central bank, pushing the average exchange rate to its highest level since the 1998 Asian financial crisis.
A UN Food and Agriculture Organization report reveals that global meat supply has quadrupled over the last 6 decades, nearly doubling per capita consumption to 47 kilograms and significantly exacerbating global environmental burdens.
식량농업기구 FAO 보고서에 따르면 지난 60년간 전 세계 육류 공급이 4배로 증가했고 그 기간 동안 1인당 소비량도 거의 2배인 47kg으로 늘어남에 따라 환경 부담이 세계적으로 크게 가중된 것으로 나타났습니다.
Yeah, so compared to 1961, when the average per capita meat supply was 25 kilograms, in 2022, that jumped to 47 kilograms, which is about quadruple. No, that's not quadruple. We're talking from 25 kilograms to 47, right?
Yes.
From 61 to
that
22.
would be the per capita meat supply.
Got it. Not the
Yes.
total global supply.
Yes.
But if you break down the type of meat, poultry saw the biggest jump with a 6-fold increase. Pork supply doubled, and beef was surprisingly pretty stagnant per capita throughout these last 6 decades. And so what this report notes is that there is an increase in meat consumption, but this drives, of course, not only health, but there are environmental concerns in high-income nations. In lower-income regions, access to animal-based nutrients remains severely limited at this point. So there's this big imbalance.
Yeah, I think we have to understand some of these terms quite broadly because the actual term used as we understand it in the original UN article is that it's the per capita supply of meat that has gone up from 25 to 47 kilograms.
Yes.
And that basically means the amount of meat that is available per person, whereas the global supply of meat itself has gone up 4 times over the past 60 years. So I guess it depends on the population.
Exactly. That's
right?
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It probably is because the population has increased over the
Yes.
past 6 decades.
Got it. All right. So let's have a look at quadruple.
Yeah, if something quadruples, that means it simply is 4 times as large, 4x, right? And just be careful of the pronunciation because if you've watched figure skating here in Korea, this is pronounced quadruple, but it's a quadruple. There's a U in there. Yeah.
그래요. 여기서 말하는 이제 quadruple 4배가 되다라는 뜻이겠죠. 3배가 되면
Triple,
그러면은 이제 2배가 됐을 때는
double.
네. 1배 그런 건 없죠.
Is the
그건 없고요.
same,
네.
yes.
그리고 이제 뭐 5배.
Yeah, I think from you can say
잘안 하나요?
quintuple.
잘 안 쓰죠.
Yeah, there's not many times you can say fivefold or 5x 5
Yeah.
times, but it exists, quintuple. Yeah.
표현은 다 존재합니다. 숫자마다 있기는 있는데 이제 너무 복잡해지거나 이제 뉴스에서는 사실 제일 중요한 게 전달력이기 때문에 들었을 때 바로 이렇게 쏙쏙 이해가 안 되는 단어들 같은 경우에는 잘 안 쓰죠. 그래서 그렇습니다. 근데 이제 quadruple 정도까지는 많이 쓴다. What about exacerbate?
Yeah, this is a good word here. E-X-A-C-E-R-B-A-T-E. Exacerbate, meaning making a problem or a situation worse, right, than it actually, or even worse
Yeah.
than currently.
So it's already bad, and then it gets worse.
Yes.
원래 나빴던 게 더 악화될 때 exacerbating이라고 얘기를 하죠. 그래서 significantly exacerbating global environmental burdens. 그래서 굉장히 크게 이제 악화시키는 것인데 무엇을 악화시키는지는 뒤에 나와 있습니다. 환경 부담이 더욱더 악화되고 있는 상황이다. 자, 그러면은 이제 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A UN Food and Agriculture Organization report reveals that global meat supply has quadrupled over the last 6 decades, nearly doubling per capita consumption to 47 kilograms and significantly exacerbating global environmental burdens. Let's move on to the next headline.
A Nepali guide miraculously survived 6 days lost on Mount Everest by chewing ice and eating a few pieces of chocolate before sliding down the mountain toward base camp.
에베레스트 산에서 실종됐던 네팔의 한 등반 가이드가 기적적으로 생還했습니다. 그는 6일 동안 얼음을 씹고 초콜릿 몇 조각으로 버틴 끝에 베이스 캠프 근처에 눈 덮인 경사면을 기어서 내려오다가 구조된 것으로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah, when we say a guide in this case, we're talking about a Sherpa, right? Specifically in or on Mount Everest. But what happened to this Sherpa is that he didn't get lost. It's the fact that his oxygen ran out at an altitude of 7,500 meters and he wasn't able to descend with the rest of his group. And so while he was trying to make his way down the mountain slowly, he fell into a crevasse. Right? And he was trapped in there for 2.5 days. What happened was an avalanche occurred, which was good for him. It filled the crevasse with snow and he was able to climb out of it and eventually make his way toward base camp. And a crew finally spotted him and carried him down. And he's still trying to recover. He's in stable condition in an intensive care unit in the Nepalese capital of Kathmandu.
그래요. 이제 이 산소가 부족한 상황이 되자 이제 다시 내려와야 됐었지만 나머지 팀들과 같이 내려오지는 못했고요. 또 내려오는 길에 일종의 like an indentation or almost like a mini valley. That's what you described as a crevasse.
Yep. In mountain terms, yeah.
그래요. 그래서 거기에 이제 홈 같은 곳에 빠지기도 했었지만 결과적으로는 무사히 내려왔습니다. He slid down.
The
mountain.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, can you tell us about sliding down?
Yeah, when you slide down something, it means that you are kind of moving smoothly down a surface. Think of a slide that kids love to play on in the playground, right? So you can literally slide down something like the side of a mountain, or, if there's a slide in numbers, in economic terms, you could say figures can slide down as well.
그렇죠. 미끄러져 내려가다. 그래서 미끄럼틀이 영어로 slide입니다.
Yeah.
Now, what about miraculously?
Yeah, so if something happens in a very surprising, unbelievably lucky way, we call it a miracle. And so it happened miraculously, like a miracle.
그래요. 기적적으로, miraculously.
Yeah. You know, one more thing about this Sherpa, his family actually thought he had probably passed, and they were actually preparing for that. And that's why it's probably a miracle he miraculously survived.
와우. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. A Nepali guide miraculously survived 6 days lost on Mount Everest by chewing ice and eating a few pieces of chocolate before sliding down the mountain toward base camp. And here's our final headline.
A critical air leak in the Russian segment of the International Space Station forced 5 astronauts to take emergency shelter after NASA interceded to halt a controversial repair attempt involving a saw, allowing the crew to safely return to the station once operations were paused.
국제우주정거장 ISS의 러시아 구역에서 공기 누출 현상이 악화해 우주비행사 5명이 긴급 대피하는 일이 있었습니다. 이는 이미 발생한 균열을 수리하는데 톱을 사용하려던 시도에 미국 항공우주국 나사가 우려를 표하며 제동을 건 후 이어진 후속 조치로 수리 작업 중단 이후 이들 5명은 안전하게 정거장으로 복귀한 것으로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah, you know, the International Space Station is a symbol of multinational cooperation. Right? It's not owned by any one single country, but what happened here is that 5 of the 7 crew members aboard the ISS at this point, in a hurry, put on their spacesuits to prepare for a potential emergency evacuation because there was an air pressure drop in the Russian segment of the station, and this has been a problem on and off for the past 6 years. When 2 Russian cosmonauts tried to fix this, NASA sort of didn't agree with this. So they told their astronauts to hurry up and evacuate. Now, the shelter order was ended when they paused this attempt to repair this air pressure drop. And so, despite the leak and the emergency drill, the safety of the crew and the onboard systems were never really threatened. So there was this situation that occurred.
그래요. 국제우주정거장 International Space Station의 러시아 모듈에서 그 연결 통로가 있는데 거기에 공기 누출이 악화된 그런 상황이었습니다. You could say it exacerbated as well in this case,
Yep.
Using that verb we looked at before. 기존에도 뭐 이런 균열이 있었던 적은 있었다고 해요. 그런데 이번에 톱을 이용하면서 이 균열 부위를 수리하려고 하다가 어떻게 보면 좀 위험성이 커진 거죠. 그래서 5명 모두 다 대피를 했고 한 2시간가량 대피를 했는데 안전하게 지금 이제 모든 상황이 마무리가 됐다고 합니다. Alright, let's have a look at take shelter or take emergency shelter.
Yeah, in this case, right? It's quickly trying to find a safe place for protection when there's a dangerous or an urgent situation.
대피하다를요, take shelter라고 합니다. 그래서 이 표현은 같이 알아두시면 너무 좋고 take 동사가 정말 다양하게 쓰이는 거 아시죠? take an exam, 시험을 보다 할 때도 take고 take up a hobby 이럴 때도 take고 take my hand, 손을 잡다 이럴 때도 take고요.
We can go on forever.
근데 우리말로는 다 달라요.
Yeah.
여기서는 대피하다, take shelter. 근데 긴급 대피하는 거니까 take emergency shelter.
Right. It means to evacuate.
Yes,
Right?
yes. 맞아요. 그래서 evacuate가 이제 한 단어로 말하는 대피하다 하죠. So remember the two together, evacuate or take shelter. It basically conjures up that image of having a roof over your head in a very dangerous situation.
Right. Like the subway stations are bomb shelters or emergency shelters here in Seoul, right?
Yes. In that case, shelter would be like a 대피소.
Exactly.
What about interceding?
Yeah, to intercede. I-N-T-E-R-C-E-D-E. It means you get involved in a situation, right, to help try and settle if there's a conflict or some sort of disagreement. You're mediating in a way.
그래요. interceding이라는 거는 중재한다라는 뜻이 있습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A critical air leak in the Russian segment of the International Space Station forced 5 astronauts to take emergency shelter after NASA interceded to halt a controversial repair attempt involving a saw, allowing the crew to safely return to the station once operations were paused. And that's it for the headlines this morning.
The National Museum of Korea logged over 3.2 million visitors from January to May, marking a 45% year-over-year surge that puts the institution on pace to shatter its annual attendance record and potentially top 7 million total visitors.
국립중앙박물관에 올해 1월에서 5월 관람객이 320만 명을 넘어섰습니다. 이는 지난해 같은 기간보다 45% 늘어난 수치로 이 추세라면 박물관의 연간 관람객 수 최다 기록을 경신하며 700만 명도 돌파할 수 있을 것으로 보입니다. Well, we're already up there with some of the biggest museums, the most visited museums in the world.
But this is really exciting. For anybody who loves museums, this is really good news. And last year, we were already celebrating.
Yes.
I mean, last year, we got 3 million to, we got almost this number of people. Half of... I'll start again. I've misread my numbers. I'm not very good at maths.
Numbers are always quite tricky.
Yes. So basically, in the same period last year, there were 2.241 million visitors coming to see the museum.
Yep.
But it's 3.255 million right now. So we're already nearly half of last year's record high total in just 5 months, which means we could well break the record again. Last year was a record-breaking year. This year should be a record-breaking year again. And I think my brain is broken.
It's fine. Do you like going to this museum? Have
I
you been?
love this museum.
Yeah,
I
the
think
National Museum of Korea.
Well, not just the National Museum of Korea. What I found going on tour over the decades here in Korea is that every city, every major city has its own national museum, like the National Museum of Gyeongju, of Daegu, and so on. And I've visited not all of them, but a fair few of them, and each one is special in its own way. Of course, the one in Yongsan is the biggest and the brightest and the fanciest, but the other ones are beautiful too. And the great news here, it's not just in Seoul where people are visiting. The National Gyeongju Museum hit 1 million visitors 86 days earlier than last year, which means more people are heading down south as well. People are heading everywhere and going to the museums, and it's really good.
So it wasn't a temporary fad last year with people coming to Korea for these museums.
No, I think certainly K-pop Demon Hunters has helped a lot, but we've seen these increases happening since COVID, more and more people visiting Korea, but also more and more people going to the palaces, going to the museums, being interested in Korean traditional culture.
네, 그렇습니다. 국중박, 국립중앙박물관 올해 1월부터 5월까지 관람객 수가요. 작년 같은 기간에 비해서 무려 45%나 늘었습니다. 작년에도 상당히 많이 이제 갔었죠.
네.
근데 올해는 더 많고요. 특히 이제 외국인 관람객 수가 58% 가까이 늘었다는 것. 물론 내국인 관광객 수가 절대적으로는 더 많긴 하지만 그래도 비율로 봤을 때는 이 증가율도 무시 못하죠. 또 경주박물관 얘기를 방금 해주셨어요. 경주박물관도 마찬가지로 지금 굉장히 많은 분들이 찾고 있는데 100만 명 돌파를 작년에 비해서 86일이나 일찍 달성했다고 합니다. 그래요. 굉장히 좋은 소식이죠. 단순히 그냥 원래 유명했던 그런 관광지들도 좋지만 그런 곳뿐만 아니라 우리의 역사, 우리의 전통을 배울 수 있는 박물관을 많이들 찾는다는 거.
Yeah, a passion
좋습니다.
for history is a very positive thing.
Yeah. One of the things I was most impressed about with you, actually, was your knowledge of Korean history, your interest in it.
Well, it's thanks to these museums and also the historians who write books and also the heritage sites that are open that I've been able to learn all of this.
Yeah, but I used to think it was such a rarity for someone who wasn't born and raised here to be interested in it.
Maybe 20 years ago it was. Now I think young people especially are so fascinated in Korean culture, not just K-pop and K-movies, but also K-history.
That's exactly my point. All right, let's have a look at the word institution.
Well, the National Museum of Korea is an institution. So's the National Gyeongju Museum. It's an institution. In fact, we've got lots of institutions all over Korea, and they're not just museums.
Right.
What they are is large organizations or groups or systems or whatever it is that have a purpose.
Sure.
Maybe educational, maybe social, maybe financial, whatever it is. They're doing something particular for a particular cause, for a particular reason. And we often link them to the government, being government, state-sponsored or state-organized. Not always, but in my mind, when I think of an institution, I think of a school or I think of a museum. I think of something that's all about learning or education or society.
많은 경우 그렇죠. 아닌 경우도 있지만 그래서 기관이나 단체, 시설, institution이라고 합니다. In this case, we're just talking about the museum.
Yes.
But instead of repeating the same name, we just prefer to use different terms in English.
Oh, absolutely. It's just to make the language flow better.
Yes. How about it's on pace to doing something?
Well, if you're a regular listener, you've heard many similar expressions, like on track to, or on the road to, on pace to. They all mean the same thing. There is a likelihood that they will get to there, or they will achieve this. Whatever it is, it's a prediction saying, they probably will get there, or they probably will do this.
So on pace to and then verb.
Yes.
So in this case, we have on pace to shatter, which means to break.
Yes.
And we have a record there, of course, after that. 그래서 이렇게 할 것으로 예상이 된다라는 의미로도 넓게는 해석을 할 수 있는데요. On pace to라는 것 자체는 그렇게 할 속도로 지금 가고 있다.
네.
속도란 단어가 들어있죠. 이렇게 할 기세다. 이런 뜻이 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The National Museum of Korea logged over 3.2 million visitors from January to May, marking a 45% year-over-year surge that puts the institution on pace to shatter its annual attendance record and potentially top 7 million total visitors. Let's move on to our second headline.
Korean ballet dancer Sung Jae-sung has been awarded the coveted Jane Erko Grand Prix, taking home the highest honor at the 10th Helsinki International Ballet Competition.
한국 발레리노 성재승이 제10회 헬싱키 국제 발레 콩쿠르에서 최고상인 제인 에르코 그랑프리를 수상했습니다.
It's another very good news for Korean arts.
Fantastic.
And very good news for this young man. He's only 20 years old. He was competing in the Young Professionals category, and he's a student of KNUA, the Korea National University of the Arts. It's the highest prize that you can get at this event. So it's a really big deal. But Korea also did well elsewhere in the event. In Ji-young and Kang Yu-jung, they also took home prizes.
Yeah.
In Ji-young placed third in the juniors competition, and Kang Yu-jung placed third in the Young Professionals competition. So it's really great for Korean ballet dancers, for ballerinos and ballerinas. And it's not every year. The last one was held in 2022. So this is not a yearly event, but I'm hoping that next time it does occur, that we do have more Korean dancers showing off Korea's pride.
Exactly. So this Grand Prix used to have a male section and a female section, but now they've combined it.
Yes.
So what do you call schools that have both boys and girls?
We say, mixed.
I guess so, yeah. As opposed to a boys' school or a girls' school, right?
Yes, or co-ed.
Yeah,
Co-ed, I think, is the term. Especially in
yeah.
America, co-ed is used a lot.
Sure.
Meaning co-educational.
Exactly. Well, in this case, we wouldn't say a co-ed Grand Prix. However, those two genders have come together, of course. And since then, it is the first time for a Korean man, a Korean ballerino, to win this. It is the first time, in fact, I believe, ever for a Korean ballerino to win a prize at this particular contest.
Oh, yes, well, we'll see. Hopefully he'll come back to Korea and perform on one of Korea's stages.
그러면 너무 좋겠네요. 네. 아마 부르는 곳이 너무너무 많을 겁니다. 굉장히 바빠질 것 같은데요.
If he wants to come on Morning Special.
Oh, please. That would be very nice. 자, ballerino. What's the opposite of ballerino?
Or ballerina.
So ballerina.
Yes.
For
a
female
woman.
or woman. Yeah. And ballerino for a guy.
Coming from maybe from the Italian, I think.
I think so,
The O ending meaning male and the A ending female.
그렇죠. 그래서 ballerino는 남성이고 ballerina는 여성이죠. ballerino 성재승 씨가요. 이렇게 제10회 헬싱키 International Ballet Competition에서 Jane Erko Grand Prix라는 최고상을 받게 됐습니다. 한국 남성 무용수로서는 최초로 수상을 하게 됐습니다. It's a very coveted prize.
Yes. This word coveted. I mean, in this case, it's a positive meaning, but coveted can have a negative meaning.
Oh.
Yeah, it means to want something.
Yeah.
If people covet something, they want it. It makes me think of Gollum in Lord of the Rings. My precious.
So the ring is a coveted.
The ring.
Oh, he
covets the ring.
You can use it as a verb as well.
Well, if you study the Bible, you know the 10 Commandments. Number 10 is thou shalt not covet. So that's what I mean by it can be seen as a negative thing. It's the sense of wanting something that someone else has sometimes.
Right.
In this case, when we're talking about competition, a coveted cup, a coveted prize, that just means everyone wants to win. But if you covet something of someone else's, that means you're jealous of it. You're envious.
Right, exactly. 자, 여기서 말하는 coveted prize라는 것은요, 누구나 가지고 싶어 하는, 갈망하는, 그런 의미가 있는데, 이게 이제 부정적인 의미로 해석했을 때는 탐낸다, 좀 지나치게 시기와 질투를 하면서 가지고 싶어 한다라는 의미가 있을 수도 있고, 동사로도 이렇게 쓸 수도 있는데요. 여기서는 당연히 아니죠.
Oh, no.
여기서는 아주 좋은 의미로 쓴 거죠.
Yeah, if you see it in the news, it's always going to be a positive sense. And we don't really use coveted in this negative sense very often. It's an archaic term in that sense. We'll say, oh, I want that, or I'm jealous of them.
Yeah, exactly. The Nobel Prize is a coveted prize.
Absolutely. The Oscars are coveted prizes.
Yes.
There are lots of coveted prizes around the world.
Exactly. And if you take home that honor,
That means you win it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally take something home. You go to the shops, you buy an apple, you take it home. Okay, fine. But when we're talking about prizes and competitions, if you take home the prize or whatever it is, it means you are the winner. You're the one who has won it.
말 그대로 하면 집에 가져가다인데요. 여기서는 맥락상 수상하다라는 의미로 보면 되겠고요. 이렇게 상을 받을 때 많이 쓰이는 표현입니다. Take home the prize, take home the honor. 다 표현할 수 있죠.
Yes.
네. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Korean ballet dancer Song Jae-seung has been awarded the coveted Jane Urko Grand Prix, taking home the highest honor at the 10th Helsinki International Ballet Competition.
The International Air Transport Association has slashed its 2026 global airline industry net profit forecast by nearly half to $23 billion, citing a severe profitability decline driven by skyrocketing jet fuel prices amid the prolonged Iran war.
국제항공운송협회 IATA는 이란 전쟁 장기화로 항공유 가격이 급등하면서 수익성이 크게 악화됐다는 이유로 올해 글로벌 항공업계의 순이익 전망치를 기존보다 절반 가까이 줄인 230억 달러로 하향 조정했습니다.
Things have changed a lot in the past 6 months.
Yep.
The initial forecast was a profit of $41 billion. It's been almost halved to $23 billion. That's about 35.9 trillion won. And it's a lot less than last year. Last year's estimated net profits were about $45 billion.
Yeah.
So we're looking at basically half of last year. And that means when it comes to profit per passenger, it's going down from 4.2% to 2%, which is about $4.50 per passenger. There's lots of issues. I mean, the main thing is we've got jet fuel is so much more expensive thanks to what's going on in the Middle East. Airline fuel expenses are going up, but also there's what they call friction. It's harder to move planes about when you've got a crisis in the Middle East, when there's the possibility that there's missiles flying everywhere. That means, well, there are all sorts of flight disruptions. Certain flights have to divert, or certain flights can't even go because they have to go through there. All sorts of things are going on. Basically, it means airlines will not be making as much money as they were hoping at the start of this year.
그래요. 아무래도 이제 중동 정세 불안 때문에 항공유 가격이 많이 올랐습니다.
네.
실제로 작년 같은 기간에 비해서 70%나 올랐는데요. 지금은 이 jet fuel이 $152 per barrel입니다. 작년보다 상당히 많이 오른 수준이고요. 그러다 보니까 이제 올해의 이런 항공업계의 순이익이 원래는 한 410억 달러로 예상이 됐었다가 가장 최근에는 그거에 반 정도밖에 안 되는 230억 달러로 하향 조정이 됐습니다. Alright, let's have a look at profitability decline.
Oh, I say profitability.
Okay, profitability.
Yeah.
I don't like long words.
That's okay. Yeah, because certainly when I grew up, profit, you put
Profit.
the emphasis on the pro, so therefore for me
Profit.
pronunciation
Yes.
is profitability.
You know, Okay, so I think I'll maybe just follow your lead
No,
on
that's
that
okay.
one because sometimes I don't know.
That's all fine. Anyway,
Profitability.
you can,
Whatever.
you
So
can
it's-
say what you like.
It's
Sue.
about profit.
It is,
Yes.
or how much profit, how something is profiting. And if it's a profitability decline, that means it's less profitable than before, as opposed to a profitability increase. I think it's catching. Yes, so when we talk about the profitability of something, it's how much profit will it make? Is it going to be profitable or not? And if there's a decline, it goes down. If there's an increase, it goes up.
그래요. 이 헤드라인에 profit라는 단어가 두 번 나옵니다. 한 번은 net profit, 순이익. 그 다음에 profitability라는 명사인데요. 제가 지금 끊어서 얘기를 했습니다만 profitability 이렇게 얘기를 하죠. 이제 이거는 수익성이고요. decline은 악화가 되겠습니다. That's what the airline industry is experiencing, and this is because of skyrocketing jet fuel prices.
Yes.
How ironic that they
Yes.
use the word skyrocketing to talk about fuel prices.
Absolutely. If something is skyrocketing, it's not declining. It's increasing, and it's increasing rapidly and at a great height. It's going up very quickly. So we use this, like we say, profits are skyrocketing means they're going up and up and up and up.
Yep.
Debts are skyrocketing. We owe more and more and more money. Whatever it is, it's happening very fast. Similar to the word surge.
Yes.
And we use that word a lot on the show. We see it a lot in the news. Skyrocketing too means there's a very big increase in a very short amount of time.
그래요. 치솟다, 폭등하다의 의미인데요. 동사 skyrocket라고 표현을 할 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. The International Air Transport Association has slashed its 2026 global airline industry net profit forecast by nearly half to $23 billion, citing a severe profitability decline driven by skyrocketing jet fuel prices amid the prolonged Iran war. All right, well, let's move on to the next headline.
China has announced that development is underway to establish the world's largest ground-based astronomical observatory on the Tibetan Plateau, with the massive facility targeted for completion by the mid-2030s.
중국이 티베트 고원의 세계 최대 규모의 지상 천문 관측 기지를 구축하기 위한 개발 사업을 진행 중이라고 발표했습니다. 이 거대 시설은 오는 2030년대 중반 완공을 목표로 하고 있습니다. Right.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be the world's second largest optical telescope. The largest one is Chile, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be way up at 4,500 meters above sea level. It's got a dry climate. It's got low light pollution. There's high atmospheric stability, which means it's perfect when you want to look up at the stars. It's going to give them a really, really good view. It's in Saixinteng Mountain in Qinghai province. And the aim is that they're going to be able to identify the cosmic reionization era. So this is when the first stars and galaxies started to appear. It's all very exciting. It's all very complicated. But basically,
Yes.
if this goes to plan, we're going to have some amazing photos of what is going on in space. We're going to get more details of how the universe works. And it's going to be very exciting for everybody who loves stars and planets and the universe.
네. 하와이에 있는 관측단지 마우나케아의 그런 어떤 집광 능력을 뛰어넘는 것이 목표라고 합니다. 중국 칭하이성에 있는 세계 최대 지상 천문 관측 기지가 구축될 것으로 이렇게 예상이 되고요. 지금 그게 진행 중이에요. It's underway.
Yes, meaning it's already started. It is happening right now. If something
Right.
is underway, it is going on as we speak.
It's not just planned, it's happening.
Yes.
Something is underway. Be underway가 진행 중이다라는 뜻이고요. How about targeted for completion?
Well, if we're targeting something, we're looking at the goal, we're looking at the aim, where we want to be. And targeting for completion, when we put it with a date, means that's when we want it to be complete by. That's when we want it finished by.
그렇죠. 자, targeted for completion은 완공을 목표로 하고 있다. By the mid-2030s니까 2030년대 중반까지는 완공하는 것을 목표로 하고 있습니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. China has announced that development is underway to establish the world's largest ground-based astronomical observatory on the Tibetan Plateau, with the massive facility targeted for completion by the mid-2030s. Now here's our final headline.
A former British soldier who discovered a Roman-era gold ring in a mudflat in 2017 has seen his find, known as the Ilminster ring, dated back to around 297 AD and valued at approximately 150 million won.
한 전직 영국 군인이 2017년에 갯벌에서 찾아낸 것으로 일명 일민스터 반지로 불리는 로마 시대의 반지가 서기 297년께 제작됐으며 약 1억 5천만 원의 가치가 있는 것으로 밝혀졌습니다. Sorry, I had some trouble with the numbers there. But this was discovered in 2017.
That's right.
And it's now dated back to, oh my goodness, 297 AD.
Yeah, over 1,700 years ago. It's incredible. It's from the Roman era. It's a beautiful gold ring, and it's got a gemstone that has an engraving of the goddess of victory driving a two-horse chariot on it. The experts who've examined it think that perhaps it belonged to a high-ranking Roman official or military general, and it's worth a lot of money, approximately 150 million won, that's £75,000. That doesn't all go to this former soldier, to Kevin Minto. The way that it works in the UK is that you split it. So there's Minto and his search partner. They'll get half, and the landowner will get the other half. But good news for Kevin Minto, the finder, because he's able to pay off his mortgage.
Yes.
Very good.
Very practical.
And also good for museums in the UK, because these kind of finds mean that we know more and more about British history, just as the same as the museums here in Korea help us know about Korean history.
그러게요. 전직 군인인 케빈 민토 씨가요. 금속 탐지 행사 중에 이렇게 로마 시대 금반지를 발견했습니다. 그런데 이게 알고 보니까 굉장히 귀한 그런 로마 시대의 금반지였고 우리 돈으로 지금 가치가 대략 한 1억 5천만 원 정도로 그렇게 책정이 된다고 해요. 그 다음에 이제 그 돈으로 그러면 뭘 하느냐. 물론 다 받는 거는 아닙니다만, 그래도 이제 마치 주택담보대출, mortgage loan이 있었는데, 그 보상금으로 그 남은 주택담보대출을 이렇게 상환할 수 있게 돼서 굉장히 기쁘다라는 소감을 남겼습니다.
Should we go and dig in the field outside?
자, 표현을 좀 볼게요. I don't think we'll find anything here, but who knows? Mud flats.
Yes, a mud flat is a large area filled with mud. You'll often see them at the seaside or at areas along the coast where you have a long stretch of mud. I've been to areas around Incheon, for example, where I've seen mud flats. People can go picking for shellfish and things there. In this case, it's in a field in Somerset. But it's just basically a large area that is all mud.
자, mud는 진흙인데요. mud flat라고 하면은 이런 진흙펄 아니면 갯벌을 얘기하고 있습니다. What about to see?
Well, in this case, we're looking at to see his find become something. We use it when we're describing an expectation, perhaps, or something being fulfilled. To see your children get married, to see your team win the cup. It's the idea of either we're hoping for the future or we've managed to achieve this sight. We've managed to be at the event that we were always dreaming of being at.
이게 좀 어려운 그런 뭐라 그럴까요? 사용법이에요.
네.
see 동사를 이렇게 쓰는 경우가 흔치는 않은데 일상 대화에서는요. 근데 문어체적으로는 뭐 충분히 많이 볼 수 있어요. 그러니까 뭐냐면은 the soldier has seen his ring dated back to a long time ago.
네.
그래서 이게 어떤 의미냐면은 이런 상황을 맞이한다. 이 반지가 사실은 무생물이기 때문에 이게 좀 이상해요. 근데 그 반지가 이렇게 알고 보니까 굉장히 오래 전인 서기 2097년 정도쯤의 것인 것으로 드러났다는 얘기입니다. 근데 그거를 이제 마치 반지가 사람인 것처럼 이제 표현을 하고 있기는 해요. 그러니까 너무 깊이 생각하실 필요는 없고 이렇게 이제 드러났다. 이런 정도로 해석을 하시면 되겠고 여기서 또 사실 굉장히 중요한 단어는 find입니다.
네.
find가 여기선 동사가 아니고요. 명사예요.
네.
그래서 그의 발견물, 그 반지를 얘기합니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. A former British soldier who discovered a Roman-era gold ring in a mudflat in 2017 has seen his find, known as the Ilminster ring, dated back to around 297 AD and valued at approximately 150 million won. All right, well, that's it for the headlines this morning.
The Korean economy grew at the fastest pace in more than 5 years during the January to March period, with quarterly GDP growth expanding 1.8%, driven by strong semiconductor exports and facility investment.
올해 1분기 우리나라 실질 국내 총생산 성장률이 반도체 수출 호조와 설비 투자 급증에 힘입어 5년 6개월 만에 가장 높은 수치인 1.8%로 기록됐습니다. So we're looking at how much the GDP has grown over a quarter.
Yeah. So this is according to the Bank of Korea, and they say that the growth rebounded from a 0.1% contraction in the previous quarter, and it was driven, of course, by strong exports of semiconductors, automobiles, and machinery, which rose 5.9%. Facility investment increased 6.6%, which was the highest rate in 5 years, while private consumption edged up 0.6%. Nominal GDP climbed 10.5% from a year earlier, the strongest increase since 1976. And the central bank said rising exporter profits were the main driver of growth and could support domestic demand and government tax revenues.
When we talk about nominal GDP, we are keeping the price, I guess, rise and inflation into account.
Yes.
But nonetheless, GDP growth is up by quite a bit. Now, 1.8% might not seem like a large percentage.
Yeah.
However, if we look at past data, this is still very impressive.
It is.
All right, let's have a look at some expressions. 네, 이렇게 이제 반도체 수출 호조 그리고 그다음에는 설비 투자 증가 등등으로 인해서 GDP가 이번 1분기에 그 전분기 대비 1.8% 증가했다라고 할 때요. 이렇게 분기별로 우리가 나눠서 보고 있는 거죠.
Yes.
So we use the expression quarterly.
Right. So it's used in business, finance, school terms when we talk about quarters. A lot of schools, you use the semester system, but some schools use the quarter system as well. So quarterly, it simply means that something that happens or is calculated or is published once every 3 months.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the first quarter of 2026, we're talking about from January to March.
Exactly. When you write it down, you might just write Q1.
Yes.
But when we say it, especially if it's the news, then we'll say the first quarter.
Right.
Or second quarter and so on. 자, 이렇게 분기, 그래서 1, 4분기, 2, 4분기 등등등을 first quarter, second quarter, third quarter 이렇게 부르는데요. 지금 얘기하고 있는 GDP 성장률이 사실상 이제 뭐랑 비교를 하느냐가 너무 중요하잖아요. 뭐 이게 1년 전 대비인지 뭐 10년 전 대비인지 그 전 분기 대비가 되겠습니다. 그래서 분기별 quarterly GDP라는 표현이 쓰였고요. 설비 투자는 영어로 그대로 옮겼네요.
Yeah.
Facility investment.
Facility investment, right? So this refers to the money that a company would spend to buy, build, improve, or maintain its physical assets.
네. Facility가 설비고 investment, 투자 붙어서 그대로 설비 투자가 되겠습니다. 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The Korean economy grew at the fastest pace in more than 5 years during the January to March period, with quarterly GDP growth expanding 1.8%, driven by strong semiconductor exports and facility investment. All right, let's move on to headline number 2.
Stanford University has launched an open enrollment 6-week online course titled K-pop and the Global Stage, analyzing how the genre evolved into a dominant 21st century global cultural force.
미국 스탠퍼드 대학이 K-pop 장르가 21세기 세계 문화의 주류가 된 과정을 분석하는 K-pop과 글로벌 무대라는 이름의 6주 과정 온라인 공개 강좌를 개설했습니다. Wow, so anyone can enroll?
Yeah, anyone can enroll. So it's a 6-week new online course on K-pop. Of course, it reflects the genre's growing status as a subject of academic study. It's called K-pop and the Global Stage, and it will run from July 13th through August 17th through Stanford's Continuing Studies program. It's open to anyone without an admissions review. Participants will explore K-pop's evolution from a domestic music industry into a global cultural phenomenon, examining topics such as idol culture, fandoms, social media, and soft power. The curriculum includes case studies ranging from Seotaeji to Gangnam Style and the K-pop Demon Hunters phenomenon with guest lectures from leading scholars. The course highlights how K-pop has become an established field of study at major universities worldwide, joining similar academic offerings at institutions such as Harvard University, Yale University, and Columbia University.
So after you take this 6-week course, can you write down on your resume that you took a Stanford University course on K-pop?
Why not?
오, 그래요? 자, 7월 13일부터 6주 동안 스탠퍼드 대학에서 제공하는 온라인 K-pop 강좌를 들으실 수 있는데 누구나 수강할 수 있습니다.
Yes.
중요한 것도 이제 수강료 어느 정도 되는지 얘기해 주실 수 있나요?
The tuition fee.
Yes.
That's important, of
Yes.
course. The tuition fee is $365.
그렇군요. 365달러라고 합니다.
Yeah. Well, one thing though, you cannot say that you are a Stanford graduate.
No, of course. 그렇죠. 이거
That's a little
수강한다고 해서
different. Yes.
그렇죠. 뭐 스탠퍼드대 졸업생이 되는 건 당연히 아니겠지만 그래도 이제 스탠퍼드 대학교에서 제공하는 그런 온라인 코스를 내가 수강했다라고는 쓸 수 있겠네요. 이거
Yes.
듣고 나면은.
Yeah. So
오.
you've become more knowledgeable in K-pop in the academic sense.
그래요. So now K-pop is not just a phenomenon and something that people enjoy, but it's something you can study and say you have academic knowledge
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
그래요. 이제 K-pop이 어떤 문화 현상을 넘어서서 학문적인 주제가 됐다. 이렇게 볼 수 있겠네요.
It's been going on for quite a long time, though. The academic the aspect of, people studying K-culture and K-pop.
좋아요. 자, open enrollment. What does that mean?
As we mentioned, this is open to anyone. So when a course, especially in higher education, when it's open to anyone, or if it's like a non-competitive, because usually when you're applying to a university, it's a competitive process. But if it's a non-competitive process, or if you just have like a high school diploma, and if you are able to enroll in a class or a program, then they say it's an open enrollment program. But sometimes this is also used when, for example, if it's like an elementary school, and if usually you have to go to a school that's in your area.
Yeah.
But if a school is an open enrollment school, that means that you can apply whether it's in your area or not.
우리나라도 그런 학교들 있어요. 그러니까
Private
전국구에서.
schools, yes.
네, 그렇죠. 사립학교가 대부분이겠죠. 공립학교도 있을 수는 있습니다만 있긴 한 것 같아요. 뭐냐면은 전국구에서 지원이 가능한 그런 학교들. 그게 이제 open enrollment가 되겠습니다. enrollment가 등록이거든요. 그 학교에 등록하는 거. 어떻게 쓰나요?
Enrollment. ENROLLMENT.
자, 그래서 스탠퍼드 대학의 이 온라인 강좌는 스탠퍼드대 재학생이 아니더라도 누구나 신청을 해서 들을 수 있다고 합니다. 자, 그 다음에는 dominant.
Dominant. So this refers to anything that holds a position of power, control, or the most prominent influence over others. So it refers to someone or something that is more powerful, successful, influential, or noticeable than other people or things.
그 굉장히 큰 지배력을 가진 이라는 뜻이죠. 그래서 우세하다도 될 수도 있는데요. 여기서는 K-팝에 대해서 얘기하고 있어요. How did it evolve? 어떻게 해서 이렇게 이제 세월이 지나면서 진화를 했을까? Into a dominant 21st century global cultural force. 이런 세계적인 문화 포스가 어떻게 됐는지 그런 얘기를 하는 거죠. 그걸 배울 수 있답니다.
Yes.
자, 한번 다시 읽어볼까요? Stanford University has launched an open enrollment 6-week online course titled K-pop and the Global Stage, analyzing how the genre evolved into a dominant 21st century global cultural force.
A major UN report compiled over 5 years by 600 international scientists has warned that the world's oceans are in a deepening crisis, demanding urgent global action due to the mounting toll of climate change, pollution, and overfishing.
유엔은 600여 명의 과학자가 참여해 5년에 걸쳐 작성한 주요 보고서를 통해 기후변화와 오염, 남획으로 누적된 피해로 전 세계 해양이 처한 위기가 갈수록 심화되고 있으며 이에 대한 국제사회의 긴급한 대응이 촉구된다고 밝혔습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so they're saying that the world's oceans are facing this deepening crisis because of climate change, pollution, overfishing, and biodiversity loss. This is placing increasing pressure on marine ecosystems. So this report has been compiled by 600 scientists, and the assessment has found that ocean temperatures and sea levels are rising at accelerating rates, while Arctic and Antarctic ice cover continues to shrink. The report warns that the Arctic Ocean could experience ice-free conditions during September as early as the 2030s, and that up to 90% of coral reefs could disappear if global warming exceeds 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And plastic pollution remains a major concern, with more than 52 million tons of plastic waste entering the oceans each year and affecting over 4,000 marine species. So the UN has called for stronger international cooperation and urgent action to protect ocean health and prevent further environmental damage.
해수면 온도도 온도지만 또 해수면 자체가 상승을 하고 있습니다. 이제 온도가 오르다 보니까 빙하들이 녹아서 해수면 자체가 이렇게 굉장히 빠른 속도로 상승하고 있다고 합니다. 아무래도 이제 전 세계 기후 또 우리의 미래가 계속해서 걱정이 많이 되는 부분인데요. 여러 가지로 인해서 이런 일들이 생긴다. 그 중에서는 기후변화, climate change, 오염 문제, pollution. 그 다음에는 이제 남획, overfishing 이런 것들도 큰 문제가 된다고 합니다. So this report was compiled. What does that mean?
Well, when you compile something, it means to gather, organize, and bring different pieces of information together into a single unified whole.
우리가 자료를 이렇게 수집해서 그다음에 보고서를 만들 때 많이 쓰는 동사입니다. To compile a report. So I have this image of lots of different pieces of paper, many data points, and you put it together to make a report.
Right.
Now, of course, these days we do everything online, but
right.
still. 그래서,
In the past,
그렇죠.
we would bring it all together into one pile.
네. 그래서 책을 집필하는 이렇게 편집하는 것도 컴파일링이 될 수도 있고요. 이렇게 자료를 수집해서 보고서를 작성할 때 그때 compile a report. What about a mounting toll on the world?
Right. So here, in this case, like toll would refer to maybe damages. So amounting something, it refers to a gradually increasing or accumulating. It could be a number of casualties, damages, losses caused by some sort of disaster, conflict, or crisis.
Mounting. 점점 쌓여가는 산더미처럼 쌓이는 이 이미지라고 생각하시면 돼요. mountain하고 mounting하고 발음이 좀 비슷한데 지금은 mounting를 얘기하고 있습니다. 그리고 toll, toll이라는 것은 피해가 되겠죠. 그래서 여러 가지 누적되고 있는 피해를 얘기합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A major UN report compiled over 5 years by 600 international scientists has warned that the world's oceans are in a deepening crisis demanding urgent global action due to the mounting toll of climate change, pollution, and overfishing. Right, let's move on to the next headline.
After 144 years in the making, Barcelona's Sagrada Familia is finally shedding its construction cranes with the inauguration of the basilica set to take place today, marking 100 years to the day since the death of the church's architect Antonio Gaudí.
스페인 바르셀로나의 사그라다 파밀리아 성당이 착공 144년 만에 드디어 외관에 건설용 크레인을 철거하면서 건축가 안토니오 가우디의 타계 100주기가 되는 바로 오늘 성당 외관의 구조적 완성을 알리는 준공식이 열릴 예정입니다. So finally, it's done. The work is done.
Yeah. And it's been over 144 years. It's a very iconic basilica, and it has finally reached its full height with the installation of the final cross atop the Tower of Jesus Christ. So the completion of the church's 18th and tallest tower marks a major milestone and, of course, coincides with the 100th anniversary of architect Antoni Gaudi's death. And it's been delayed for decades by war, political upheaval, financial challenges, and the destruction of many of Gaudi's original plans during the Spanish Civil War. The project was ultimately completed using a combination of surviving designs and modern technology. So the Pope is set to formally inaugurate and bless the tower, although the interior and facade work is expected to continue for several more years. Meanwhile, the plans for the church's final glory facade remain controversial because they could require the demolition of nearby residential buildings.
네. 자, 오늘이 바로 가우디 타계 100주기가 되는 날이라고 합니다. 그래서 오늘 레오 14세, 영어로는 Leo the 14th 이렇게 얘기를 하나요? Pope Leo the 14th 이렇게 해야겠죠.
Yeah.
네. 그래서 교황이 축복식을 위해서 바르셀로나를 찾게 되고요. 최종 준공은 한 2034년 정도로 예정이 된다고 하지만
still going to take some time.
네,
Yeah.
그래도 오늘 굉장히 의미 있는 이 외관의 완성을 기념하는, 알리는 그런 준공식이 열립니다. 자, 표현을 좀 볼게요. This was 144 years in the making.
We use this expression to describe something that's currently in the process of being created, developed, or formed, and it's almost always used to describe like a long-term process or things that require a lot of history, time, and effort to build.
만들어지고 있는 그 긴 기간을 얘기하고 있는 건데요. This was 144 years in the making. 그러면은 지금 이렇게 외관이 완성되기까지 144년이라는 긴 세월이 걸렸다, 지났다 이렇게 보시면 됩니다. And it says it's finally shedding its construction cranes.
Right. And this means to kind of cast off or to let go of something or to get rid of something perhaps unwanted.
shedding이라는 것은 이제 벗겨내다라는 의미가 있죠. So animals, they shed fur. Snakes shed their skin.
Yes.
And in this case, the Sagrada Familia will be shedding its cranes.
Right. It no longer needs it.
Yeah.
You can also shed your weight.
Yes, shed pounds.
Unwanted pounds, unwanted
맞아요.
kilos. Yes.
네네. 그래서 shed라는 게 이렇게 털갈이 할 때도 뭐 탈피를 할 때도 쓰기도 하지만 또 우리는 이제 살을 뺄 때도 이렇게 뭔가 빠져나간다라는
Yeah.
느낌이거든요. 그래서 Sagrada Familia 성당이 드디어 이 건설 크레인을 다 이제 철거하고 외관을 완성하는 것을 이제 기념하게 됩니다. 그리고 이거 to the day라는 표현도 굉장히 유용한 표현인데요.
Yes.
이제 올해가 이제 그 안토니오 가우디 타계 100주년이 되는 해일 뿐만 아니라 오늘이 바로 그날이다라는 걸 강조하기 위해서 It's 100 years and today is the exact day.
That exact day that he passed. Yeah.
Yes, 그런 의미입니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. After 144 years in the making, Barcelona's Sagrada Familia is finally shedding its construction cranes with the inauguration of the Basilica set to take place today, marking 100 years to the day since the death of the church's architect, Antoni Gaudi. All right, let's move on to the final headline.
A supercomputer simulation conducted by British researchers has named Argentina as the most likely champion of the 2026 World Cup in North and Central America.
영국 연구진이 슈퍼컴퓨터를 활용해 2026 북중미 월드컵 경기를 시뮬레이션 해본 결과 아르헨티나 국가대표팀이 가장 높은 우승 가능성을 보인 것으로 전해졌습니다. What do we know?
I was reading this and I thought it was kind of funny because I would have presumed that they would have used AI instead of a supercomputer. But yes, it was a British research team and they predicted that the defending champion Argentina was the most likely winner of the 2026 FIFA World Cup after running thousands of simulations on a supercomputer. And the study was led by James Reed of the University of Reading. They analyzed international match results since January of 2023 and evaluated teams' attacking and defensive strengths. And Argentina ranked first in title probability ahead of France and Spain, although researchers said the gap among the leading contenders is very small. And, you know, no one knows what's going to happen at these games. So this is just a probability. And among non-European and non-South American teams, Japan ranked highest at 11th, while South Korea placed 20th. And South Korea's group stage opponents, Mexico, Czech Republic, and South Africa, were ranked 15th, 34th, and 39th place respectively.
그래요. 자, 우리 시간으로 내일 모레 금요일 날 월드컵이 시작이 됩니다. 현지 시간으로는 6월 11일이에요. 우리가 이제 더 빠르기 때문에 우리 시간으로는 금요일이고요. 그다음 또 마침 그날 우리가 체코와의 경기가 있습니다. 자, 이 이제 시뮬레이션으로 국가 축구팀들의 순위를 딱 매겼잖아요. 한국은 20위이고 그다음에 이제 한국이 속한 그 조별 리그에 있는 상대 국가들의 순위도 궁금하시죠? 체코는 34위, 그다음에 이제 멕시코 15위, 남아공 39위 이렇게 슈퍼컴퓨터가 예상을 하고 있는 거고요.
Yeah.
네. 우리가 지금까지 나와 있는 스케줄표 우리나라 국가대표팀의 축구 경기는 이번 주 금요일 오전 11시를 시작으로 그다음에 그 다음 주 금요일 오전 10시에는 멕시코와의 경기가 있고요. 그리고 또 얼마 지나지 않아서 25일 목요일에는 역시 오전 10시에 남아프리카 공화국 남아공과의 경기도 지금 계획이 되어 있습니다. All right, let's have a look at a simulation.
Yes, simulation. So they ran a replication of a real world process, I guess. These are not real games, but they ran fake games in the supercomputers. So a simulation is like an imitation of a real world process, a system, or a situation over time. So it's an imitation or kind of like a dry run of a real life process.
So 모의 실험 같은 거죠. Simulation. Now, what about most likely champion?
Most likely champion. So that would be like a competitor, team, or a participant that is statistically projected or favored to win a tournament, league, or competition.
네. 그러니까 가장 유력한 우승 후보 이렇게 볼 수 있습니다. 이 슈퍼컴퓨터의 시뮬레이션에 의하면은 아르헨티나, 그다음에 프랑스, 스페인 순으로 이렇게 월드컵 우승 가능성을 점쳐보고 있는 건데요. It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, and like I said,
지켜봐야겠습니다.
the probability or the gap between those leading contenders is very small. So you don't know. We don't know. It's not like one team is going to win with a big probability.
그래요. 그렇게 한 방법은 슈퍼컴퓨터를 이용해서 2023년 이후 각 나라의 경기 데이터를 분석해서요. 수천 번의 시뮬레이션을 이렇게 수행해 본 결과 이런 이제 뭐 예상표가 나왔다고 합니다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A supercomputer simulation conducted by British researchers has named Argentina as the most likely champion of the 2026 World Cup in North and Central America. All right, well, that's it for the headlines this morning.
Korea's employed population aged 70 and older surpassed 2 million for the first time in 2025, highlighting the impact of population aging and the growing dependence on senior workers.
우리나라 70세 이상 취업자가 지난해 처음으로 200만 명을 넘어서면서 인구 고령화 영향 및 고령 근로자에 대한 의존도 심화 추세가 두드러지게 나타났습니다. Okay, let's have a look at employment by age group then.
Yeah, so those employed over the age of 70 last year numbered 2.16 million. Senior employment, it spiked by 9.2% year on year, making up 7.1% of the country's entire workforce. And the increase was slightly higher in men, up 9.6% to 1.11 million, compared to women that went up 8.7% up to 1.04 million.
But similar though.
Yes.
Slightly more men in their 70s and above than women in the workforce, but relatively similar. 자, 이렇게 70세 이상 취업자 수가요, 216만 명으로 집계가 됐습니다. 작년 데이터고요. 이게 바로 어제 발표가 됐는데 계속해서 이제 노령화 사회를 우리가 이미 진입을 했고 가고 있기 때문에 이렇게 고령층의 취업자 수가 많아지고 있는 거겠죠. We are seeing an increase of people being employed at an older age or still working at an older age, more and more. And I guess this percentage or the number is only going to get bigger in the future.
It seems to be the case. Certainly the population aging as well, obviously. So, yeah, it does seem to be the case.
All right, let's have a look at the expression highlighting something.
Highlighting something means to make something stand out, and the most obvious thing you can use here to help you remember this would be a highlighter pen.
Yep.
So often if you're taking notes or if you're reading a book and you want to remember something, then you have that fluorescent green or orange or pink pen that you kind of strike something on to make it stand out, to make it more visible to you. So in the same way, if you highlight something, then there's something that you want to see more easily compared to everything else.
형광펜, 하이라이터. 형광펜을 쓰면은 거기 있는 글씨가 더 두드러지게 잘 보이듯이 강조하다의 의미를 가지고 있죠. Highlight. And what about growing dependence on something or someone?
Well, growing is something that's getting bigger and bigger, and a dependency or to be dependent on something means that you need something. So this need for something in particular, this is aging workers, is becoming bigger and bigger. Or you could say the population of those working are aging, as we mentioned, but we need them as well. So it's a need that's being covered.
Right. And the opposite of dependence would be independence.
Independence, yeah. To be able to do something on your own.
그렇죠. Dependence는 의존이 되겠고요. Independence는 뭐 잘 아시다시피 그 반대니까 뭐 독립이 되겠죠. 근데 자, 여기서는 growing dependence on senior workers라고 해서 이런 이제 고령층에 대한 의존도가 점점 커지고 있다라고 얘기를 하고 있습니다. Growing dependence on senior workers. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Korea's employed population aged 70 and older surpassed 2 million for the first time in 2025, highlighting the impact of population aging and the growing dependence on senior workers. Let's move on to the second headline.
After 4 years of anticipation, the 2026 FIFA World Cup begins in Mexico on Thursday, making history with 3 host nations and kicking off with the first of 3 opening ceremonies in the Mexican capital, headlined by Grammy-winning singer Shakira.
4년간의 기다림 끝에 2026 FIFA 북중미 월드컵이 현지 시간으로 목요일 멕시코에서 개막합니다. 이번 대회는 사상 최초로 3개국 공동 개최로 치러지는 가운데 이 중 제일 첫 경기가 열리는 멕시코시티의 개막식 행사에는 그래미상 수상 가수 샤키라가 공연 메인 출연자로 나서게 됩니다. 자, 내일이에요. 내일 우리 시간으로 그러니까 금요일 새벽인데 멕시코에서는 이제 그게 목요일이죠.
Yeah, and Korea's first game comes tomorrow morning. I want to say 11 a.m. against the Czech Republic.
네, 네, 맞아요. 내일 새벽 2시 반쯤에 일단 개막식 행사가 시작이 되고 그 다음에 우리나라와 체코와의 경기는 오전 11시인데요. 또 그 사이에 게임이 하나 더 있죠. 다른
Mexico and South Africa.
맞습니다. 네, 첫 경기는 멕시코와 이제 남아공이에요. 또 굉장히 전 세계적으로 많은 기대를 받고 있는 그런 경기이기도 하죠. Right, let's have a look at what's going on. What do we know?
So because they're having this event in 3 different countries, they're having 3 different opening ceremonies.
Yep.
And for the first one, which will be held in Mexico, so it will be Shakira that is headlining that show. And she's also going to be part of, by the way, the first ever halftime show at a World Cup for their finals, which is going to be in July. And she will, at that halftime show, be sharing the stage with both Madonna as well as Korea's BTS.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Which 3 venues are co-hosting this? Not venues, but countries. Countries are co-hosting this year's World Cup, for those who don't know.
Yeah, it's all over North America. So
Yeah.
it's Canada, the USA, and Mexico.
네, 그렇습니다. Although we do say 북중미 World Cup, technically speaking, as you said, it's all North America. But 3 countries, Canada, the US, and Mexico. Starting off with Mexico there. All right, let's have a look at the expression to kick off.
Kickoff is definitely a sports expression, and appropriately, it's how you start a soccer game. So the beginning of a soccer game starts off with one team having the ball first, and they get to kick it to their own teammate first. And that's how a game starts. So when we say something is kicking off, it doesn't have to be a sporting event. It could be an event regardless of sports. Then we often do say, oh, it's kicking off on this date or after this kicks off or however. So, but yeah, kick off means to start.
And this is perfect because kick off is often used in football and, you know, this is the World Cup. So
Yeah.
it's perfect. 자, 킥오프 한다라는 것은 이제 축구 경기 같은 게 시작될 때도 많이 쓰지만 또 그냥 스포츠와 무관하게요. 시작하다라는 의미가 있는데 그 중의적인 뜻이 다 있다고 볼 수 있겠죠. 지금 월드컵이 이렇게 개막한다, 시작한다. What about to headline?
To headline, once again, is something that stands out to a certain degree. And it's similar to something that is highlighted. It's not the same, but there are some similarities because it's something that stands out. Someone that is a headliner, let's say, or someone that headlines an event, they're sort of the most important figure of a big event. So the opening ceremonies will have other things going on, but among the things going on during the opening ceremonies, the thing that most people will be interested in will be Shakira. So that's why they said that she will be headlining the opening ceremonies.
그렇죠. 그러니까 어떤 느낌이냐면은 그 간판 출연자로 나서다, 주연을 맡다. 정말 이렇게 헤드라인을 장식하는 것처럼. 그래서 헤드라인이 이렇게 동사로 쓸 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. After 4 years of anticipation, the 2026 FIFA World Cup begins in Mexico on Thursday, making history with 3 host nations and kicking off with the first of 3 opening ceremonies in the Mexican capital, headlined by Grammy-winning singer Shakira.
record-breaking heat waves and severe droughts around the world have fueled the so-called climateflation by disrupting global supplies of cocoa, coffee, and olive oil and causing their prices to fluctuate wildly. And economists now warn that the fallout from the Iran war could trigger an even more severe inflationary crisis this year.
세계 곳곳에서 기록적인 폭염과 심각한 가뭄이 발생하면서 코코아, 커피, 올리브유 등의 글로벌 공급망에 차질이 생기고 이에 따라 이들 품목의 가격이 요동치는 이른바 기후플레이션이 고개를 드는 가운데 경제학자들은 여기에 이란 전쟁의 여파까지 겹쳐 올해 더욱 심각한 인플레이션 위기가 촉발될 수 있다고 경고하고 나섰습니다. Alright, so climateflation.
Climateflation is the rise in consumer prices caused by the direct impact of climate change. So droughts, floods, heat waves, they can lead to food shortages, and that eventually makes the cost of, those produce going up. So they call that, climateflation.
그래요. 기후변화로 인한 inflation. 그래서 climate하고 inflation 합쳐서 climateflation이라고 요즘 이제 새로 부르고 있다고 합니다. What's fluctuating?
Something that fluctuates goes up and down in terms of statistical numbers. And if something fluctuates wildly, then it becomes really unpredictable as to how high or how low prices of something might become. So it really makes, it makes it difficult for, let's say, investors, but also when it comes to farmers and people buying and shipping things, then to be able to find an appropriate price on things when prices are fluctuating, when changing wildly, it makes their job much more difficult.
올라갔다 내려갔다 극심하게 변동할 때요. fluctuate wildly라고 표현을 할 수 있습니다. fluctuate 자체도 이제 오르락내리락 많이 하는 것이지만 그게 좀 극심하니까 wildly가 쓰였고요. What about an even more severe crisis?
So something that is severe is something that is extreme. Usually we think of it in a bad way. So something's getting really bad in an extreme way. And when something is even more severe, then you have a situation that's bad. And essentially you're thinking of that being even worse, even more badder. There's no word for that, obviously. But if something gets even worse than it already is.
An even more severe crisis, 훨씬 더 심각한 위기를 촉발할 수 있다. 무엇이요? 지금의 이 기후 상황 플러스 전쟁 상황, 중동의 그런 정세가 더해져서 이중고라고 얘기도 할 수 있을 텐데 in English you might say it's a double whammy or a double blow because there's already the climate situation and then you have the Middle East war situation going on. So the two
compounded is another word we'll use sometimes to describe that.
Exactly. They make it worse. 자, 그러면은 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Record-breaking heat waves and severe droughts around the world have fueled the so-called climateflation by disrupting global supplies of cocoa, coffee, and olive oil and causing their prices to fluctuate wildly. And economists now warn that the fallout from the Iran war could trigger an even more severe inflationary crisis this year. Let's move on to our next headline.
A report on the UK's higher education sector reveals that more than a quarter of people graduating with degrees, including sociology and performing arts, are earning less than the national living wage.
영국 대학 교육 부문에 대한 최신 보고서에 따르면 사회학 그리고 공연예술 등의 학위를 취득한 대학 졸업자들 중 4분의 1 이상이 영국 법정 최저임금보다 적은 소득을 올리고 있는 것으로 나타났습니다. So a lot of people, a lot of graduates are in debt.
Yes, they're saying an average student actually leaves university owing 53,000 pounds in loans.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, in Korean won, that's even bigger than that sounds. And yeah, they say that only 50% of graduates secure full-time work within 15 months after finishing university. So even a year and a quarter after graduating, 57% only find jobs.
그러니까요, 열심히 공부해서 대학교 졸업을 했는데, 생각보다 급여가 이제 많지 않아서, 이렇게, 어떻게 보면은 그동안 공부해서 학자금 대출 받고 한 것들이 더 큰 부담으로 다가오는 이런 상황이 될 수 있겠네요.
Yeah, and by the way, also a lot of those that do get employed after graduating from university, the ironic thing is 1/3 of them end up with jobs that don't require a university degree. So it's like, why did I do that in the first place then?
그래요. 자, 그럼 표현을 한번 보겠습니다. Higher education sector.
Higher education is just another way of saying college or university. So anything after high school, we consider higher education. You just think of it as high school. Well, what's higher than high school? Well, it's, university or college or anything beyond high school. So it's higher than high school.
그래요. Higher education이라고 하면은 고등교육을 얘기합니다. 그러니까 대학 교육을 말한다고 여기서는 볼 수 있겠죠. 그래서 그 분야에 있어서 이 대학 졸업을 했음에도 불구하고 무려 한 5년이 지나고 나서도 지금 얘기한 그런 분야를 전공한 학생들, 졸업생들 같은 경우에는 영국 기준으로 국가 중간 연봉 수준으로밖에 돈을 못 받고 있다라는 놀라운 결과가 나왔고요. 돈을 벌다라고 할 때 earn money.
Earn, yeah. You earn something by doing something and then receiving something for your work. So it's different from just being given something or to get something because this is something that, when you earned it, when you earned a promotion, you didn't just receive a promotion, you did the effort, you deserved what you got.
자, 그래서 이 earn이라는 것은 그만큼 내가 이걸 받을 만한 무언가를 했다라는 뜻이어서 긍정적인 의미도 될 수 있지만 또 때로는 부정적인 게 될 수 있죠.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If someone got a promotion and you could say, oh, she totally didn't earn that, right? She got that because she's the boss's niece or something. Then she didn't earn that. She was given it.
노력해서 받은 건 아니야 이런 느낌으로도 she didn't earn that 이렇게 얘기할 수도 있겠죠. E-A-R-N. 보통 돈 얘기할 때 earn money. 근데 이런 표현도 있어요. earn respect.
Absolutely, yeah.
열심히 노력해서 존경을 받는 것이죠. 자, 그러면은 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A report on the UK's higher education sector reveals that more than a quarter of people graduating with degrees, including sociology and performing arts, are earning less than the national living wage. All right, and this is our final headline.
A former Air Canada pilot is facing multiple fraud charges after allegedly using forged credentials to fly commercial aircraft as a captain for 17 years without the required airline transport pilot license.
항공사 에어 캐나다에서 한 전직 조종사가 기장 임무에 반드시 필요한 항공 운송 조종사 자격증을 취득하지 않은 채 위조된 증명서로 17년 동안 상업용 항공기를 운항한 사실이 발각돼 최근 다수의 사기 혐의로 기소됐습니다. How did this happen?
Yeah, apparently, so it's saying that he actually did have a pilot's license, but in terms of receiving his promotion in 2009 to be a captain, that was not valid. So it's not like the airline particularly is saying that nobody was ever in harm's way because of this, because he did have regular training and testing and
he knew
competency.
How to fly a plane. Yes.
But when it comes down to it, in the end, he didn't have the proper credentials to be a captain.
그렇군요. 그래서 무려 900차례 정도나 어떻게 보면은 무면허로 비행을 한 셈이라고 합니다. What does allegedly mean?
Allegedly or alleged is a word that we will use very, very much when it comes to news and media.
Yep.
And anytime you are not 100% sure about something, or if something hasn't been proven in a court of law and there's just maybe some allegations, then we'll use the word alleged. This is what we believe to be true, but there is not hard evidence or proof of this yet. So we're reporting what we believe is going on, what seems to be the case,
Yeah.
but we don't want to pass full judgment just yet to make somebody look bad.
So we're not 100% sure.
Yes.
But this is what we think. Based on some things, of course. It's not just based on nothing.
Yeah, they have, you'll have a little bit of evidence, but not enough
Right.
to really condemn somebody. So no hard evidence.
그렇죠. 아주 결정적인 증거가 있어서 100% 이게 사실이다라고 말하기에는 좀 이르지만 그래도 이런 혐의가 있다. 이렇다고 한다라고 할 때 그러니까 확신이 글쎄요 한 몇 퍼센트 정도일까요? Allegedly 그러면은 한 8, 90%? Maybe?
Yeah, it could be. I'd say it could be anywhere from maybe 50 to 80%,
Okay.
50 to 90%.
But just not 100, but more than 50.
Yeah, I would say more
이런
than
느낌.
If you go less than 50, then I feel like you should be.
You're just claiming it.
Yeah. You're just kind of giving an opinion. But yeah, you've got to have some legitimate proof where it really does seem to be the case. It just hasn't been proven yet.
네, 그래요. 그래서 이렇게 이 에어 캐나다의 조종사가 되기 위한 자격증을 위조한 혐의를 지금 받고 있습니다. 그래서 allegedly he forged the documents.
Yeah, and
But
you'll see this a lot in newspapers, in any sort of TV, radio news.
그래요. 그러니까 100% 확신이 없을 때 많이 쓰는 표현이라고 생각하시면 되겠고 특히 뉴스에서 우리가 모든 거를 확신에 차서 얘기할 수는 없잖아요. 이거는 이래서 그렇습니다. 저 사람은 이렇게 말하는 게 굉장히 위험하죠. 그래서 allegedly라는 표현을 많이 씁니다.
Yeah, because the person or the company that you are referring to, they can have their reputation damaged and
right.
defamation, being defamed and stuff like that. So
Right.
it can be damaging if you are wrong.
Well, this former pilot is accused of having used forged credentials.
Forged credentials meaning that they are not real or official credentials. So often if you have to take a note to school with your parents' signature to say, oh, my son or my daughter was absent from school today because of this, and then you're in North America anyways, we have to sign something from our parents. So in that case, sometimes people might forge their parents' signature. So they write it as if they're their parents. So it's not a real signature. It's a fake. It's been forged.
그러면 안 되죠. 근데 요즘에는 캐나다는 제가 잘 모르겠지만 그런 이제 결석계도 다 온라인으로 제출해요, 선생님.
Oh, that's right.
요즘에는 부모님 도장 받아라 이런 거 잘 안 하는데 어쨌든 자, 위조됐다, forged. 그리고 credentials라는 거는 여기서 자격증이에요. 그래서 그런 이제 해당 면허증이 없었는데 위조해서 제출한 것으로 지금 그렇게 전해지고 있어요. 뉴스에서 그렇게 전해지고 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A former Air Canada pilot is facing multiple fraud charges after allegedly using forged credentials to fly commercial aircraft as a captain for 17 years without the required airline transport pilot license. And that's it for the headlines this morning.